Good evening. Good
Hi.
evening. Welcome to the Keeping It Real Conversations with Sunshine show. I am your host, Camila, aka Sunshine. Welcome. This is our last two shows of 2021. Um, we are live on Spotify. We are live on YouTube. We are live on my Facebook page. Um, If you have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, please do so. Like and share the video. Please do so. Most importantly, I believe in 6 degrees of separation. You are one person away, one advice away, one help away from where you need to be in your destiny.
Can you hear
Um,
me?
I can hear you now. I'm glad that we are in the land of the living. There's so much things going on in our world today. Um, I just want to focus on the positive. We are going out with a bang. I have two awesome lineups tonight. And I was so glad that they could stop by in their busy schedules to come in and go out for 2021. So
I can barely hear you.
you can barely hear me. I can hear you. Can you still hear me?
I can hear you, but it's kind of low.
Yeah, you're kind of low, but I can still hear you. I don't know why. So tonight we're going to start with Dr. Cookie Humphrey.
I can hear you now.
Okay, and I have a special guest coming in later on when she shows up. And Julia, how do you say her last name? Lapita?
Lapita.
Lapita.
Julia Lapita.
Okay, Julia Lapita. Um, I'm so excited for this. So I'm gonna start with Miss Cookie's bio, and I'm gonna jump around because
Okay.
there's so much good stuff in here. So we're gonna start with Dr. Cassandra Cookie Humphrey, a mother, mentor, magazine publisher, a former foster child, and an author, a CEO of Future Talent and Entertainment, a celebrity marketing group, and founder of Humphrey House, dedicated to education, empower, and inspire. Cookie knows what it takes to rise from a victim to victory. And that's a mouthful just right on that sentence right there.
True.
In 2018, Cookie released Compulsive Magazine, a trendy lifestyle print publication with distribution currently in 5 different countries. Over the years, she has worked with legendary artists, athletes, and celebrities. Prior to her publishing and media career, Cookie worked as an educational consultant for the Ministry of Education in the Middle East and Asia for 10 years. Cookie has served on boards of Women in Motion, Rising Star Music Awards, and in 2020, she was elected as Hearts to Homes board member, helping those aging out of foster care, which is very important. Education and empowerment of the youth are priorities that have dominated Cookie's professional and personal life. She's a child advocate. Again, we talked about foster care. It's very important to her. Education, self-esteem, all these good things is important to her. She holds several degrees. I was just saying Miss, and she's Dr. Cookie Humphrey. She's an author of the year with the Rising Star Music Awards. The book was called All Cookies Ain't Sweet. So we're gonna talk about that. And while I don't want to stop, I'm just gonna get into some of Julia's as well until she comes on. I don't want to
She's
stop.
on.
I can't see her.
She's on mute, but she's there.
I don't see her video.
I can see it on my end.
Yeah, she probably would
She's
have to do her video. So Julia, distinguished actress, has been working in the entertainment industry for more than a decade. She appeared on many film, television, working with some of the very best directors. And skipping around, she has worked as an actress on several levels. There we go. She got it unmuted. There you go. She's a producer and director, and my God, today she got so many things on here, and the list goes on and on and on. And so, wow, she has won awards. You've seen her on radio shows. You've seen her on movies. You're seeing her. God, where aren't you? That's what I'm about to say. That's what I'm about to ask you. Where are you not? Oh my gosh. Oh my Lord. It's so much stuff on here. Well, I'm glad to have you here. Um, Rome lives in California now. She's summer everywhere. Oh my God. I am so happy tonight to have you guys on the show. And we only have an hour because I have another show after this. So it's a lot to get into. So we're gonna get with it.
Well,
So
we're excited.
I always
Indeed.
that how do I know the people that I have on my show? I believe in 6 degrees of separation. I was introduced by or for Miss Cookie, Dr. Cookie, that is, for Main Event. And we have a joint establishment that's coming up real soon. And we're all on the same team. And so I was like, okay. And then the next thing I know, he talked about a magazine. And he said, man, it would be cool if you could talk to her. And I said, okay. So at the time, we kept missing each other because she was getting the last episode out for this year. And she told me I would love to do it. Let me do this first and then, get back with me. So that conversation went well. And the magazine comes out. And on the cover of this magazine was Miss Julia. And so I said, wow, she is beautiful. I really want to see the magazine and things of that nature. I got a call while I was at work and said, Sunshine, what do you think about Julia coming on as well? And I'm like, what? Are you serious? She's like, yes, she would love to do it. And so all of us, voila, we are all here. So welcome you guys to the show.
Oh my God. The magazine.
Yes, I can see it.
Okay.
So I'm trying to think, where do I want to go from here? Let's go with, because we're all in entertainment. Let's go with a simple question you both guys can answer. What was the call for you to get into the entertainment business in the first place?
That's interesting. I think for me, just growing up in my neighborhood, being around it, I grew up in the Heavy D era when he lived in my hometown. So I was always on the scene. I knew I wanted to be in entertainment, but I wasn't exactly sure how. And I think writing for me just came naturally. So I was able to, do promos and write different bios and stuff for people. So I think that that's how I got into it. And then as it progressed, I started making contacts and things of that nature and just kind of put myself in the middle of the entertainment scene. And then for me, it just blossomed from there.
Wow. And that's good, especially with someone being in your local area. Especially Heavy D was awesome. Oh my God. I've heard so many good things about him of putting people on as well
Absolutely.
as protecting those who are in the industry. So I think that was a really, God already knew, God already had planned it for you to come in that way. So Miss Julia.
So thank you all first of all to have me here today. And so for me was I think my first passion was for the piano. Like
Okay.
very very young, like I was like 4 and I wanted to play things like especially like keyboards, and I was in love with the piano without even a touch one. Um, and then I think I've always been very creative in a sense that since I was a lonely child, and my family situation was not the best. Like some things happened, so I figured out that creating stories in my mind and kind of living a life that it was my own thing
Yes, yes.
was always something that makes me feel better. So I was looking for it like constantly. I was constantly looking at something that for someone looked very normal. For me, I hide big stories behind. So I think that was like something that always helped me to overcome problems in life, and also I love to do that because it would make me happy. So that's how I think I started to love the idea of movies and entertainment and be part of it.
So
I,
Miss
I
Cookie.
think, can I say something? I think when you do something like piggyback on Julia, doing something that makes you happy also makes you feel good. And it does make you give you the opportunity to escape from
Okay.
whatever is going around you. So I have to agree with that.
Yeah, that was gonna be my next question. You had stated in the bio that you, and so with sometimes we have different types of life. In my peaches and cream. So for you coming from foster care, what was that like for you?
Um, well, let's see here. It wasn't good. It wasn't good. What wasn't good was being shuffled between foster care homes, not being able to be with my parents, not being able to, being so young that I couldn't understand why, you know. I was an only child, so at least at that time I was an only child. So I think for me, I pushed so hard, and I think that's one of the reasons why I pushed so hard, because I didn't like the situation. Um, when you're in a foster care and they have other children, you know that you don't belong. You know that that's not your family. And
Mm-hmm.
so I think for me, pushing was the way that I was going to get out of foster care in my mind,
Okay.
8, 7, 6 in my mind. So for me, I just wanted to just excel in everything that I did. And I knew that education was very important. And as bad as I say it was, I also feel like this. It gave me an opportunity to speak for myself, which now I'm able to speak for others. You know what I mean? Um, I learned while going through the system,
Mm-hmm.
which has been able to help me maneuver and also help other people maneuver, if that makes
Right.
sense.
Mm-hmm.
So for all the bad, there was good on the other side.
Absolutely.
So it was bad to the fact that I wasn't with my paternal parents,
Mm-hmm.
okay, at a young age. But the good came when I got adopted.
Absolutely.
So it wasn't all bad, and you go through things for a reason. And whatever that reason, because I've never understood to this day, but I understand, if that makes sense.
Yes,
So
I understand. So, Miss Julia, I've seen, I think it was 3 pages, might have been four, 4 pages of all the things that you have touched in the industry. What has been your drive to continue to, one thing after another?
That's a good question. For a long time, I was a little bit like, she just said right now, like the situation where I was coming from always made me feel like I was not wanted. So
Mm-hmm.
I've been looking for approval outside of me, external approval everywhere around. So at the beginning, I realized that I was confusing a little bit the drive that I had inside to do something with the being approved by others while I was doing that, or looking for them to like me, to love me. That was a little bit the drive at the beginning, because I was desperate, like in search for love, looking for love everywhere I could, whole wrong places, by the way,
Mm-hmm.
because it was not coming from within. But at the same time, as it's always like that. You find yourself while you're doing things, like thinking that that's the right thing to do. Or and in my job, like I've done so many things, and I received a lot of no, 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 like millions. Like, it's pretty normal, like even nowadays, every day. And till I took it personal, like it was a no to me, I was still like feeling like I was traumatized again. It's like I'm
Yeah.
not wanted, I'm not like. But then I was keep going, like, because for me it was like I cannot accept this. I have something inside of me that is burning, it's like telling me like go. and um and so I learned not to give up on my dream, but to just surround like to surrender, sorry, surrender, and to give up on the resistance that I had inside of me. So then it become more, now is like different, it's like more for myself, like more to give to the others what I have inside of me, and hopefully help someone else. So I think that
Absolutely.
the drive, it comes from being the obstacles at the end, that I hated a lot at the beginning, but
Mm-hmm.
at the end made me way stronger. And there was always a reason. Maybe sometimes it was not the right time. I got a job maybe sometimes after years, while I was like, oh my God, I don't want to see you anymore after all the no's that I got from you. Like,
Yes.
really,
Yes.
stop saying no to me. But it was the right time exactly when it happened. Because if that thing would have happened before, now I know it would not have been the same.
That makes sense. That makes sense. So, Miss Cookie, with you having compulsive and being the head of it, how do you go with the process of who you choose to be in the magazine?
In the magazine or on the cover, or just in the magazine in general?
Both.
Okay, so the philosophy behind compulsive is ordinary people doing extraordinary things. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We're not a celebrity driven magazine. Of course, one or two celebrities will go inside the magazine, but every other page will not be a celebrity. So the goal is to actually look for people who are doing such things. Um, we have people that we call trolls, who troll down social media pages and things of that nature. Basically, like this issue that Jules is in right now, it's the giving issue. So we want to look for people who actually give in some shape or form, not not always financial, but
Right.
your talent, your whatever gifts you have. So in this particular case for this issue, Jules and the person who was on issue 6, Mr. Rossi, they had the same, I'm just going to say management. So when they both were given to me, for people, for the magazine, and I thought they both were great. and she will tell you, and he will tell you, they were set for features for the magazine, not covers.
Okay.
And something happened in each where they both bumped. They were the strongest. So we put people in the magazine that are going to be strong in case, and it happens all the time, the cover backs out for whatever reason. A lot of them are actors and actresses and have to be, certain places and certain. We take that feature, that strongest feature, and bring them to the forefront. To the forefront, the cover. And so in both cases, with both of them, with the same management, it happened. It just happened. I remember calling her back and saying, could you do my cover? Because of a last minute situation, and she was the strongest. And knowing what I had already known about, her giving and her compassion, and she's doing the face yoga and her app was coming out. It just, it was a no-brainer. But to answer your question, we select people based on it's going to be what the theme is going to be.
Okay.
And their connection to the theme. Like, are you really someone out here doing what you say you're doing that matches with our theme? And so our trolls we have, they're very good. They're on social media 24/7, young girls. And they also, bring people, hey, check this person out. They're doing X, Y, and Z. I think this person may fit the theme, and so on and so forth. It's not an easy decision.
Right. I understand. I mean, at the end of the day, I always say it's God's favor. Julia already had hit on it earlier with the timing. And here we go again with it's proven that you're in the right place at the right time. And my other theme is, again, it's the 6 degrees of separation. You're always one person away, one advice away, and one help away from where you need to be in your destiny.
I agree.
And this connection, again, brings us into the forefront of us all talking, not only as women with confident builders and self-esteem and all of these great things that build each other up. Here we are talking about some of the scars that have healed, but able to allow the world to see that we can still come out and win. We are winners. It's not just win, we are winners. And so I'm excited for the story. And this is why we're here. This platform gives everyone a chance to tell their real story. No, hold them up. Don't ask me what I'm going to ask you, because it needs to be genuine. I don't need you to figure out what you're going to say. No, it has to be authentic, 100% authentic. And here, I would have never known, outside of what was given to me, that we all had some type of similar issues with growing up. This is why we have conversations. So when we talk about celebrities, magazines, and things of that nature, there's always somebody that can see a face to their story and say, okay, that was me. And look at them and where they are now. And so literally, I kid you not, I have printed out 4 pages of Julia's establishments and accomplishments and awards and things and movies and TVs and all of these things, documentaries, and even for our own thing that she does. Miss Dr.Cookie, and all of these things, it's important for the culture. It's important that I'm always into self-improvement. There's always a better version of you. You're not the same person you was yesterday, literally and figuratively. You're not the same person. So, Julia, what was the response that you got when Miss Cookie called you and said, I need you to be the cover of the last issue of the year.
I start screaming.
She
I couldn't
did. She
even
did.
I couldn't let the finner, like, she couldn't finish to talk. I was like, oh my god, it's real, I can't do it. And I was crying and I was laughing and I was like, oh my god, like if if your best team win something, some
Yes.
champion, like that's how I was screaming on top of my lungs, like seriously. Loved it. I really wanted to do that, and was one of the things I really wanted to be in, because I really like the magazine. I really like her. So I was really like, oh my god, that could be something that I really want to do in my life. And then they reached out to me for the feature, and I was like, okay, I'm happy. Like, I won the cover, but and then
You
like,
said that though. You said that.
I
You
said
said
that. I said,
you said I'll take the feature, but I really want the cover. I said I'll swing back around to you.
yeah.
And then it wasn't even a month.
No, not even a month. Like
Wow.
maybe like 20 days after that, she
Mm-hmm.
called me telling me that, and I was not even thinking about that at that point. I was like, okay, this issue is gone, so maybe next. And that happened, and I was like, oh my god! For 1 week, I was still like not believing it. Like, I am so excited for this.
I
This is,
think you were in Rome, weren't you? Weren't you in Italy when I
I
called?
was in Rome. Yeah,
Yeah, you were in Italy when I reached out to you,
yeah.
not knowing you were even in Italy.
No, no, exactly. So that was amazing.
Wow. That's
Yeah,
and very impressive. Um, and I've noticed in some of your you were in different GQ magazines, correct?
yeah.
So what the difference between a GQ magazine and compulsive, like I'm like in awe of just having GQ first of all,
Mm-hmm.
and the cover of several magazines or features in magazines is kudos to you, of course, and then kudos to Dr. Cookie for seeing the talent. Um, and the front of the cover, can you show that one more time? You were awesome. Right, exactly.
Like that.
And then if I can add, I said to her, I said, you're gonna make history because you're the first white woman on my cover.
Yeah,
Wow.
Italian. Hmm. So I think for each of our issues, there's always a first in some shape or form.
Mm-hmm.
There's always a first. So I
Wow.
told her she's making history.
I love it.
I love it too. That's awesome. Again, for those who are on, please like and share. This is going down in history. Not only that, because I've been saying all day, these are the two last episodes of 2021 for me. And so for them to take out on their busy schedules to sit down in all of our comfort zones and chop this up is awesome. It really is. Um, and I don't take it lightly at all. We all could have been doing something different. But at the same time, to talk about these things that we want the world to walk away from this conversation. Miss Cookie, also your book, being an author. So we had a phone conversation. I didn't know you was a PR rep.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, okay, PR rep, author, and owner of this and that. So, with that being said, how did you connect from being a PR person to where you are now?
Well, the PR, it's still media relations, so I used to do freelance writing for different, publications back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
But I think my drive for creating compulsive was I have all these legendary clients. I have Main Event, I have Shane the Dribbling Machine, MC Shyrock, first female MC. And I felt like I wanted to also have a vehicle for them, my clients. I wanted to have a vehicle for them. You know, Maine and Shane, they have their own content in here in the magazine. They have their own page. They're the directors of Inspired by You, which is a whole nother platform. MC Sharrock was on the cover. So again, I wanted to take my passion for entertainment, and I co-publish with my daughter who is on the modeling side. So I wanted to take my passion for entertainment, her passion for fashion, and be able to involve my clients and have a vehicle for them to always put their information and anything that they have, any type of content that they may have in the magazine. And so when you're waiting on people to give you a yes when you do pitches as a PR person, and A, you don't get a response, or B, it's yeah, you know, we're not looking for this at that time, you know, like Julia said, those no's.
Yes.
Well, I took those no's and just created my own platform.
And that's good too, because again, I always say this too. When you are a trailblazer, it's not the easiest thing, but it's so rewarding. You are definitely different from the norm. With, like you said, your first on your magazines. It's a good feeling to be different, and that is the culture that we want to be a part of. Is embracing your differences.
Absolutely.
None of us look alike. We're not even in the same part of the world right now. And so again, these differences are awesome, and we want everybody to appeal to the differences. So Miss Julia, also, there was a part in there that said you were a producer and director, correct?
Yes.
So how did you get into that part?
So as I said, like I always love to create stories. So not only like be part of it, but create in my mind and everything. And I always like to be also behind the cameras a lot. I love to see how it works. I love to see what is going on behind, just the script and everything. So I started to work in production like very early because I got my PhD in communication, marketing, and communication. So that's how I started, like with the production thing.
Wait. Did you say PhD?
Yeah. And everybody gets a little bit like, oh my God, when I say that. But I think that for the way that the system is made in Italy, it's very different from us. We kind of, all of us most have a PhD if you go to the university. You don't stop like after 3 years or after 4. You need to go all the way. Basically, so it takes a long time for us to finish like the university. So that's how I started basically working on the production. And then when I came here in the US, while I was not at the real beginning, it was not immediately to start working as an actress all the time. So I was like, I'm just gonna work on the behind the scenes. So I started working as a script supervisor a lot, which I loved it, for many movies and commercials and things like that. And being so close to the director and being so like every day on the script like that, like, really like studying every script give me all another perspective about what I'm doing when I'm in front of it. So I think it helped me a lot, most of all, like with being now in front of the camera, because now I know way better all the lens, all the things way better. So I'm helping actually the others while I'm doing my thing. So I know what it worked better. And also at the same time, I was like, I think I can do this, I really love this. It's like, give me excitement every time we are creating a scene like from zero. I'm not feeling like I'm just doing something that is in someone else's mind. It's now it's my mind creating something. So I wrote my first short film, and I made it all like um, without much lines, just like few lines, but all behind like music and dance, all music and dance. So to tell the story through that, because I really love to involve all the kind of passions that I have for, in general, arts.
Mhm.
So that's how it started.
So, and that's good too. So for both of you guys, the question is, in your line of work that you do on a daily basis, how do you handle, or if you have any, stress issues?
That's that's a that's a difficult question for me. It's a twofold because the first fold is I work well under pressure.
Okay.
I do some of my best work under pressure. Um, so that's that. I guess the second fold will be it is something I'm still struggling with, learning how to say no and when to say no to certain projects.
Okay.
I want to be in the mix, so I say yes a lot. And then find out as I'm getting into it, maybe I wasn't told that it was going to be X, Y,
Uh-huh.
and several Z's. But so again, it's a struggle for me, and each year I say I'm going to say no, and kind of back away and so on and so forth. And I can say that I guess COVID has slowed things down for me,
Right.
uh, and a lot of people. So there's not a lot of things being pitched to me, but I think when you have established yourself as somebody who is a hard worker and you work hard and you get on projects and you give it 100%, people will find you. You don't have to, go looking. And that's, normally the case for me, hey, you want to hop on this project, X, Y, and Z. And I'm, yeah, 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 yeah. But again, I'm learning how to say no, and that also helps keep my stress level down. But when it comes to things such as deadlines and things like that, I do my best work under those type of pressures because I like competition. So
I understand. Miss Julia?
For me too, I really work well when I'm under pressure, but I don't like competition. It's just like I feel like when I have pressure to be and do that like in a short time, I focus so much on that
mhm.
that I come up with stuff that I would never even think about it before, you know? If I
Mhm.
feel like that I have way too much time, I'm like, yeah, kind of a, not procrastinator, but kind of, I don't feel that vibe going on. Like, oh my God, like I need to put all my energies in it. But yeah, I get stressed out, and me too. One of the things that I'm learning every day to say no to stuff
Mhm.
like that. Sometimes I'm like, why am I doing this anyway? Just like I
Me
don't
too, me too, me
understand
too.
why. Just like I said yes, but was a clear no, like and the other thing that I do, just like I realize like how much like meditation is very important. So that's
Okay.
something that I really work on every day, because I feel like that when something happened, maybe unexpectedly, if I've meditated during these days, I did my workout, even 10 minutes, 5 minutes, doesn't matter how hard or how long, but if I've done something for myself, then I can handle it like without going in that few second of, oh my God, panic, 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 alert, alert, like when you're like, feeling all the pressure on you and you feel like you are in a trap kind of feeling. So yeah, I think meditation, like saying no more often, just
Mhm.
you know, for yourself. Even you don't want to do things for someone when you are not really into it, you know, you're not giving a favor to anyone, you know. Sometimes we say yes because we want to make people happy, but we're not making anyone happy like that, because you're not giving yourself 100%, because you're there doing the things and like, I don't want to do that.
That's true. That's true.
So that's how I handle it, let's say.
Wow. And that's a good important part, because sometimes as I would say boss ladies, we do give a lot to others. Sometimes even in our sleep, we're giving to others.
Mhm.
And it's very important to do self-care. Like you guys said, you know, meditation. Sometimes you got to take a spa day or shut your phones off. For me, it's just a moment of quietness. Like I just need peace. I just want to be quiet. I just want my brain to calm down, stop thinking, if that's possible, and just relax, take in the moment. So for you guys, what are some of your, I guess, memorable victories, like in your business or in your personal life? What are something that you feel is one of those victories that I really need that win?
Uh, I think for me, my most memorable gain would be going overseas and actually living and working there for 10 years. When I think about it, you know, I went over there, I didn't know the language, you know, I had to learn the language, learn the culture, you know, embed and weave myself into the day-to-day routines of another culture, you know, of several cultures because I lived in several countries. So I think that and then making a 10-year career out of it from 2000 into 2008, and I came home in 2018. I think that that for me was a highlight. I know a lot of people said to me, you're not going to be over there longer than a year, you know. You're not going to like the food, you know, they do this, you're going to the Middle East, you know, blah, blah, blah. So, again, for me, I met some wonderful friends. Um, I've done things that I had never done in the United States. And so for me, I think that that's a 10-year victory for me for sure. And I actually went there with my book. So that was the whole purpose of me even going out there, was for all cookies ain't sweet. So memorable times for me for sure.
Was the Middle East time that you were over there? That wasn't during war, was it?
No, 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 no. Mm-mm,
Okay.
no.
For you, Julia?
For me, yeah, I mean, of course, being on the cover of
She know what to say.
no, but it's true. It's
I
true.
know. No, I'm just joking with you, Jules.
It's true because it's like something that, as you were saying, being here in the United States, coming overseas from my country, you know, risking everything basically, like for very uncertain territory. That's one of the biggest accomplishments that I've done to myself. So being on the cover of an American magazine is like, you know, finally like saying, oh, I can relax a minute, because like, you know, when you go overseas, like for me it was difficult, like figuring out all the bureaucracy. How can I stay? I always felt like my ground was very unstable, you know. What
Yes.
am I gonna do? Like, you know, what am I gonna meet? Like, who's gonna help me with this, that? You, so many things, so many things. So it's not even just you're going in another country and you are dealing like with your idea of what career you want to have there, but it's also like you have survival things that are totally different from your country. So sometimes you make mistakes just because you don't know. And
Mm-hmm.
You don't have right away, that thing like, oh, that's how it works here. So I think this is one of the biggest accomplishments for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And how long have you been in the United States now?
It's
How many?
four.
4 years?
Yeah.
She's
That's still
accomplished a
impressive.
lot. She's
Yes.
accomplished a lot in 4 years that people have have lived all their lives and haven't done.
And never done that. So that is really good. Miss Cookie, for what was it? The book. All cookies ain't sweet. So can you tell us about, the content of the book and
Yeah.
the title in itself?
Absolutely. So the book came out in 2009. All Cookies Ain't Sweet was a reflection of me and my journey through maneuvering through the foster care system.
Okay.
So it's the book is totally based on me and the good, the bad, and the ugly of my journey going in and out of foster care up into graduating graduating from college. Yeah. So it takes me through my high school years. It talks about my social worker, who I had an amazing relationship with. Um, how she stayed in the system until I graduated. And then she moved, and in the middle of it all, they tried to give me, she got raises and got promoted and so on and so forth, and they'd give me another social worker, and I'd act up so bad they have to give her back to me. So she's like, I can't get a raise, I can't move in the company, I can't do anything, because I was attached to her. And so, it talks about, I think maybe chapter 6 or 7, it talks about me meeting my birth mother
Wow.
while I'm writing this book.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, and it's interesting because I can't really say I either chapter 6, 7, or 8. One of those chapters, maybe chapter 6, because 6 seems to stick out to me. While I'm writing the book, I get writer's block, and I can't write for and Jules, you know what that's about. I can't write for months, maybe 2, 3 months. Nothing comes. And then I get a call from my cousin that he ran into my mother.
Wow.
Exactly. And so from that point, that connection was made by my cousin, to my birth mom. And from there, then I continued to write the book, which included her in it. So in short, the book just, it's a journey, about my childhood. And it brings me up to college. I think my master's degree, so it's from childhood to me accomplishing my master's degree.
Wow. That's interesting. Because the first thing is, when you think of cookies, we always think that cookies are sweet. And so, it's so many dynamics to that. Um, in changing environments, in changing careers, did either one of you have to go through any type of counseling?
I did counseling when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
When I was younger, not so much as an adult, for the simple fact that, I don't know, I don't think I want to say this because I might make some counselors upset, but I learned the system while I was going through my childhood. And so I was able to tell people what they wanted to hear.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? Because
Yes.
I learned, I learned the system. I learned in order for me to get out of doing whatever, I knew what to say. They wanted to put me on medication, and I knew exactly how to get around that. So I just figured if you're in the system long enough, you're going to learn it. And I did.
Okay.
But at the same time, I still was interested in why people do what the hell they do.
Mm-hmm.
And so, when I went on for my PhD, I went for my PhD in psychology. So even
Okay.
though as a child I learned the system and I knew that I needed to learn the system in order for me to maneuver it by myself, you know what I mean? But it didn't change the fact that I still questioned what people did, why they did, and why they acted the way that they did, which
Right.
led me to want to go on and learn more about, addiction, because
Mm-hmm.
addiction is what my mother had.
Okay.
No, and so I wanted to learn more about addiction, why people do what they do, um, what could be done to help someone when you're surrounded by people with so many different issues and challenges, that you want to help them, but how do you really help them? Is a conversation gonna solve everything? You know, so that was one of the reasons why I went on to school, because I wanted to be able to further um, understand the mind.
Hmm. Um, Julia, did you have to do any counseling?
Well, I did back when I was younger, but I never really felt like it was helping me, you know? I always felt like, oh, yeah, you're telling me obviously stuff, kind of feeling. You're just like, and since I was growing up when I was very young in India, and so I had very open mindset about other practice to feel connected with yourself, and I felt that counseling was more kind of having someone else telling me what was about me, or wrong, right, or whatever. It just like it didn't feel good. So I did a lot of reiki instead, or a lot of other type of meditations, things that make me feel like more reconnected with myself. And at one point, I felt like guilty, like a little bit sometimes, why this person did that to me, or why, that thing happened to me very early in life, or whatever. And then I decided that, once I healed that, I figured that I didn't want to know anymore. It just like it didn't
Yeah, you moved on.
I didn't have the urgency. Before it was an urgency for me to understand. And then I understood myself so well that I was like, I don't think I really care about the reason for others. At one point
Yeah.
I feel like the way that I felt better, it was just like whatever. Otherwise I was going crazy behind
Crazy in
it,
your mind.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
behind like feeling why, and most of the time that I was asking myself why, I was finding that I was feeling guilty about what happened to me when someone else did something to me that is not supposed to happen to me, even if I was not the guilty one. But then I
Mhm.
was like, why am I feeling guilty for something that someone else should feel guilty about?
Yeah.
Why am I questioning myself so much? So I was like, no way. That's it. I'm worthy of being, loved by myself to the point that I don't need to know anything else about this situation. That's it. So that's how and a lot of books, reading is very important. Like a
Yes.
lot of philosopher, a lot of psychologists as well. Of course, some of them they are really great, in explaining. I love many coaches, like so. I pick from everyone what it makes me feel good and what it resonate with me at the best, and then
Mm-hmm.
I create my own thing because At the end there is no right or wrong in this. Whatever makes you feel better, it's good enough.
Right. That makes sense. So we only have 8 minutes left because the hour go past so fast when you're having so much fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So when I'm gonna pose the question to you guys, again, we only have a short moment left. If you had to put a mirror to your face and you're looking at yourself, what is that one sentence or something you would say to yourself?
For me, it'll be you go, girl.
Mm-hmm.
For me is I love you, you're worthy.
Aw, that's really good. And one more question to the women who might have self-esteem issues or challenging their confidence. What is something that you would say to them?
In regards to confidence, I mean, it's it's a process. It was a process for me anyway. I think if you deal with a lot of challenges during your childhood, um, it takes time to build confidence. But I would say don't give up. You need to treat yourself. It's good to treat yourself from time to time. Be with yourself. You don't always need to be around other people. You don't always need to seek others' approval. And I think once you hit that confidence level, you don't need anyone else's approval. But it is a process. And I think again, if you have some childhood issues or challenges, things that you're dealing with, I also think that you need to find some type of relief, whether it be yoga or find something that makes you happy. Writing in your journal. That's what I used to do. And that's probably why I'm such a good writer because I wrote in my journal all the time. I wrote poems. I wrote to myself. Um, find something that makes you happy and stick with it. And even if you have to try different things, it's okay.
That's good advice. Definitely. Julia?
Yeah, I would say that sometimes what I think it's the main reason of insecurity and lack of confidence is just because we are looking for love in all the wrong places. So it must come from within. And my suggest is always like be gentle with yourself and realize you are perfect as you are in this right moment. So don't put pressure on yourself. Just have fun with it. Life is just sometimes it takes a minute, and it's not granted anyway. So have fun with it. Like you don't need to do that to yourself. It's just like hurting yourself for someone else.
Hmm.
So just love yourself and perfect as you are. That's it.
That is great advice from two wonderful, beautiful ladies. Again, thank you guys for coming and talking and sharing our laughter, our smiles. No tears tonight, but again, we celebrate all victories, whether they were a small moment of I didn't drink coffee today or I did, however, we have to celebrate all victories, whether they're small or large. Thank you again. I appreciate you guys. I thank you going into the new year for bigger and better things that we have done in these years and past. Julia, I don't know if you're gonna come out in 2022 with 10 pages now. I don't know. But all the wonderful things that you're doing, I don't know. Um,
Oh my God. Thank you so much for being here
Yeah,
tonight.
thank you so much. We appreciate it so much.
You're so welcome. Again, I want you guys to enjoy the rest of your evening or day for you. And we will talk
Yes.
soon. See you later.
Bye. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
You're welcome.